Gonna be a millionaire. Hey, Cesaro, good to see you, pal. Oh, might help I get a mic over here. Just in case I say something notable. Hey, Lever, Tenora, Wolverine's in. Zemmerbujan. Jonathan's back. Marge's in again. Andrew. Tenora. Irish Sun. Awesome 1028. Xena. Zine. Hi there. Let's. Yeah, a live stream. Actually, having to deal with the real world is scary for a couple of days, Brian. Yeah, the real world's a scary place. I don't like it. I'd much rather slip into the comfortable confines of anime. And we all know the things that go on in anime, and yet compared to the real world, I still consider that a comfortable confine. Hey, Ocho. Mike Guy is in. Battle Beast of the Leaf. Indeed. I don't know what to tell you how far in Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't know what point of measure you give in Grand Theft Auto 5. You want to know what candy corn is made of? Dildo bits. Brandon Rogers. Hi, Larry. Yeah, we again, as always, guys, you know, you can talk anything about anime you want. And we can talk about anything at all you want in the streams. I was just thinking about that. I don't even know how I got thinking back on Attack on Titan. And for those of you who watched it, I think that whole, you guys know what I'm talking about, the big decision Levi had to make there, who to save, whether it should be Armin or Owen. And for me, I think he did the right thing for a number of reasons. Obviously, from a rooting interest or an emotional standpoint, I wanted Armin. But more than that, I think going forward with the absolute level of uncertainty of what they'll be facing from day to day, I think you're better off having a genius like Armin than you are a much more militarily experienced person like Erwin. You think Erwin, Cesaro? I'm curious to see, you know, what you guys' thought process is. Now, again, I'll grant you, he's definitely a more experienced warrior, more experienced military man than Armin. There's no question about it. But the fact that Erwin, even as a military leader, he had a lot of moments of real kind of selfishness. You know, look at the things he was willing to do just to get to see the basement himself and the amount of people he was willing to let die. I think, I disagree, Milkulator, that Erwin was more practical, only because, again, so much of what they'd be experiencing is going to have been before unknown to them. I'd rather have the genius intellect, which Armin clearly has, and the ability to think on his feet, because I don't think Erwin's experience would come into play as much as having somebody who's an on-the-spot problem solver. Emily says Armin was a better choice. Erwin told Levi he was okay with being Titan bait. Yeah, that's kind of... Hi, Em. That's kind of where I'm at, Deku. Armin has more potential, in my opinion. I just think his potential for problem solving as problems arise, I think he demonstrated over and over, was really impressive. So again, you know, there's clearly the fact that Erwin was a more experienced military leader and a better military man is incontrovertible. I just don't think that's necessarily what they were going to need most going forward. Gimster says, I got off a night shift. I had to stay up for 23 hours. Jesus Christ. And had a 7-hour sleep to get back onto day shift. Now I finally get a week off. Holy crap, that's a grinder, dude. God damn. Well, enjoy your week off. Spaz Kid's got a week off now because you guys, most of you guys know he goes to SUNY school, one of the state universities here, and the governor just closed them down for the rest of the semester. But he's an RA, and the campuses remain open, so he wasn't going to get to come home for his whole spring break just over the weekend, but now he'll get to come home for his whole spring break. But then he's got to go back on campus anyway because there'll still be people there. So he'll be taking, they'll be taking online courses, but he's got to go back to campus. Let's see. Can't wait for season 4 of Attack on Titan. Yeah, Emily. There's a lot of season 4s I got to catch up with. I got to catch up with DxD. My Hero Academia is coming out. Erwin is an absolute goat, though. Oh, I don't disagree with that. Question mark. I don't disagree with that. I just, again, it was a tight call either way. But, and when I put the emotions aside, I still like the choice of Armin better for that situation. But yeah, Erwin was fantastic. You can make a strong case that they wouldn't have survived this long if it weren't for Erwin. Could make that same case for Armin though too, I guess. Let's see. What do you think? I'm not even sure what that one's about. Is Sarah still best girl? Yeah, pretty much. I've got a whole list of waifu, but Sarah's will always be right at the top of it. That'll never change. Between her looks, the fact that bitches love cannons and she's the ultimate, and her just absolute badassery. The thing that will always keep Sarah there for me is not only I keep pointing back. I don't know. Yeah, you guys can see that tapestry just barely in the corner there of her. The reason she will always be near the top for me is not only is she tops on the waifu list or at the top on the waifu list, she's also one of my favorite characters as well. And that's not always the case with all the different waifus. I don't know, do I have that? Oh, I got that. I was going to say, I'll take that down and show you that tapestry better, but I don't think I can, guys. I think I've got it screwed in there. Hold on. Oh, maybe I can. Yeah, I can. Let's see. It'll come off. Nope. Got that one off. Watch out there, Pops. Oh, crap. Came right out. God damn it. All right. Okay, and I'll show it to you guys. I'm going to show it to you guys. Take that, Susan. Let me see. That was sent to me by one of you guys, and that always stays up on my wall. Always has a place up there. I know the angle the camera's at. It's hard to make it out. God damn it. Get up there, Saris. There we go. Yes, so Saris will always have a place. Yeah, that's... Oh, man. She is just the absolute best, Saris. What are you gonna do to the green screen? Yeah, I know. You can't pluck things off a green screen like that. Yeah, fucking trains always in the background, Deku. Let's see. Emily, I'll get to typically what I'll do when season 4 comes out, though. I'll wait till it's complete and then we'll go ahead and watch it here at the Goosh. Oh, I missed Super Chat? Thanks, Wolverine. Duh, I didn't even think. I prefer Nami over Robin, but Saris is Bae. Yeah, I'm. Nami and Robin are such a toss-up anyway. If you're basing it strictly on looks, I probably would give Nami a little bit of an edge over Robin. But when we're taking in the whole character, and that's what I do for a waifu, then I have a little bit of Robin over Nami. I just love her attitude, and I think she'd be a freak. But Saris is Bae. You are correct, Wolverine. Saris is just next level. Let's see. Mr. Sykes says, Curtis, sorry you're dealing with ads in your reactions now. I feel your pain. I'm not sure what you mean, my friend. What do you mean dealing with ads in the reactions? Oh, well, that was just the one day. For those who don't know, I recorded a video. It just pisses me off when they do that. I recorded a video on Verve for the Goosh, the Patreon, And they do this every once in a while. It's not the first time it happens. Why it pisses me off. Of course, I have a Verve account. You pay monthly so you don't have commercials. And every once in a while, you'll go in, it'll have logged you out. You go to log in, and it'll say, oh, sorry, network error occurred. We can't do this at this moment. So basically, they make you watch ads, even though you paid a fee to not watch ads. And it just pissed me off. So it was one of those days, the other day when I was recording it, it just, I said a whole bunch of bad words. Armin does give me the vibe, Tsunami says. He'd like to see his wife girlfriend get plowed like a field. Tenora says Alucard is a real fucking vampire. That is really fucking true. Alucard. That's one of the main reasons that Hellsing is so high on my list. Is it's just got two of my all-time favorite characters. Between their badassery, their attitude, the dialogue, Alucard and Ceres are just... It's as good as it gets as far as combinations for me. Dylan says, I love listening to people talk about stuff I don't watch while I'm playing Yakuza 0 waiting for Yakuza 1's remake. Goodness gracious, you said bad words. I'm unsubscribing, Lud says. Don't blame you. I just got a problem with having such a potty mouth. But at Tenora, but does he sparkle? For those of you who don't know, I like vampire stories. Now, I got to admit, since I've been into anime, I've gotten into them way more than I ever had in my life. I mean, vampire stories, movies, whatever, have been around forever. But anime does them really well, mainly because of Alucard. And now, to be honest, why is it the Netflix series we're watching over at the Goose right now, based on the video game. Title's gone out of my head. Huge surprise there. Are you kidding me? Well, you guys will tell me. But especially since those, it's really picked up. Gimster says, this past winter was kind of rough. We hit minus 13 wind chill and a total 12 feet of snow within a month. Just a little bit testing for people. Jesus Christ. I remember, Gimster, you were telling me when you were in the midst of those snowstorms. We were really lucky. I'm in upstate New York, for those of you who don't know. We only had a few days of minus zero wind chills, which is unusual. We usually get more than that. And the snow was not bad. We had one major storm. And other than that, we had a few, a few inches here, a few inches there. That's what she said. But that's been it. Castlevania. Thank you, guys. I knew you'd have it there for me. Yeah, Castlevania. I'm really enjoying the vampires in there, too. So my love of vampire stories has really increased. But what Em was alluding to is I watched Twilight because, again, it's a vampire story. I'm there. I was watching the first one. I was like, this isn't bad. I was still trying to get into it until they had that scene in the forest where he's telling what's her nut there. I can't think of that actress's name. It seems like you just want to smack her every day. They have that scene in the forest. He's talking about how when he gets out into the light there, something's going to happen. And I'm like, and he's building it all up. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be good. His fucking skin's going to peel off or something creepy's going to happen. And he starts sparkling. That was it. Turned it off. Didn't go back to that goddamn series at all. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? What the hell? Stupid ass shit. Fucking vampire sparkling. That made me that made me tweak. Integra? Oh, Integra's cool too, Tenora. Yeah, I like Integra. But again, she's just in an impossible situation because she's a female in a story that includes Sarah's Victoria. So now he says, so saving the badass over the cucky boy is right decision, unless Armin wants to dress his pretty ass up as a girl and have some fun. Listen, Armin could dress his ass up any way he wants, as long as he keeps coming up with the solutions and the thought processes that he has, because that's why I'm pro Armin in that situation. Let's see. Alexander Anderson. All the characters in there are just fantastic. Exactly, Aaron. Aaron says, bitches love cannons. Oh, she's just the best. Milag says, Got into a verbal match with my friend who was very wrong, so I had to put my dick in his bum just to prove I'm the alpha male. Hashtag no homo. Hashtag just a tip. Turns out that's illegal now. Running from cops. Thanks, Susan. God damn it, Susan. Susan again. Get... Andrew, imagine being named after pants. Hashtag not Levi gang. All right, that's pretty good. uh, hey Curtis, I got the I got the Whopper over a Big Mac. Do you recommend I go let Ronald McDonald know? Ronald McDonald know? Fuck Ronald. No, you made the right call. You did. As far as fast food joints go, it's not even close for me. Burger King kicks the shit out of McDonald's, in my opinion. Fuck Ronald. I go eat it if you can find one of those McDonald's where they still have the old Ronald McDonald like little statue out front. Sit right on his lap and eat that Whopper right in front of his dumbass face. Being named by underwear suits the Brief family, Brian says. Well, thanks, DeSilva. That's nice of you to say. I'm so ready for Curtis to see Zorro be a badass. You know what I like right now, Dr. Krieger, where I am in One Piece. For those of you who don't know, we're in the Thriller Bark arc. That always sounds funny together. He's got that new badass sword that he got from Samurai Brook there. And this is fun watching him starting to get comfortable with that. He's just such a badass anyway, Zorro. When will we be starting Code Geass, Pizza Man? I think my plan right now is it'd be right after. I can't remember what I had for schedule. It should be right after Trigun. I do believe I'm going to put Code Geass in that slot. And then what I'll probably do, once we catch up on Code Geass, I think I'm going to use that slot, the $1 slot, to start catching up on some things that we're behind on. Most notably, High School DxD, and by that time, My Hero Academia. Eating burgers flashily. Yes, do everything flashily. Yeah, I it's not even close for me. Burger King kicks the shit out of McDonald's. Tsunami says Ronald is too giddy around kids in his commercials. Yeah, at least with the Burger King took ownership of the fact that he's a creepy bastard. And McDonald's never actually comes to that realization with Ronald. Yeah, question marks. The reason I'm putting Code Geass in at that $1 level is since I started watching anime, it is the one that has been the most talked about, most recommended that we haven't seen yet. I mean, people talk about it all the time and have been since I started anime. Holy shit, what the fuck, dogs? Somebody just came in the house. Hold on, Gimster's here. I was driving the fuel truck on night shift, and I'd put the nozzle of the diesel tank in the airway of the industrial heater due to the moisture freezing in the nozzle and stopping the fuel. Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, and then the thing is, too, a lot of people don't realize, especially if they don't live in climates like yours or mine, Gimster, diesel engines will gel right up. It gets so cold that they'll gel, and then you're fucked. They can conceivably gel up while they're running. It's unlikely. But if you shut them down even for a little bit, you go to have a break or something, grab something to eat, you come back out and your truck won't start because the fuel all gelled. That's next level cold. Although, again, I can't really complain. We didn't get it that bad this year at all. Ira Son says, Ronald doesn't know this, but I made sweet sticky burger flavored love with Wendy. I did the same thing, but it was with Dave Thomas. The king is trying to sneak into your house. I always liked that, Tsunami, though. The whole Burger King thing was cool to me in the respect I had to give Burger King props because they didn't mean for their icon to be creepy, but he came off that way. And when people started memeing it, rather than, try and get away from it, they embraced it, which I think was the ballsy move and the best move. Hi, Mackenzie. Peter says, do you think the U.S. will let people from Europe in after the 30 days, or is it going to be extended? It's impossible to say, Peter. I think it'll all depend on where we are with the virus at that point. I would like to think that we're taking enough steps to at least mitigate some of the extensiveness of the of the infection, I think if we're on the downside, if infections are moving the opposite way, moving down instead of up, I would like to think so. I know it was less. Well, at least South Korea. We don't know China because you can't trust what China tells you. But we do know in South Korea, what was it? It was like 2 weeks, and then they got it going the other way. They got the infections going down. I think Italy is still going up though, aren't they? I didn't look at today's. I've been into watching all this, but I didn't look at today's reports how Italy did for new infections. But it seemed like it was only a couple weeks for South Korea where it rose exponentially, and now it's tapered off and it's dropping. Niall says, are schools shut in America? A lot of colleges, not a lot of K through 12 schools so far, but a lot of colleges, yeah. Well, it's easier in the colleges because, again, like I said with Braxton's, with Spaz Kids, the campus is actually still officially open, but they're having the kids do distance learning. They're doing online classes and stuff, and that's obviously something you can do in college where it's not feasible in high school. Yeah, Europe is almost all going up. Still Italy as well too, Peter. I keep rooting for them to get on the downside because they've been hit so hard. McDonald made spicy chicken nuggets. Thanks, Susan. Mackenzie says, I like this adding thanks, Susan, into things. Next Democratic debate. Oh shit! I knew Lifer. I think it's Tuesday again, isn't it, guys? Isn't the next one 17th Tuesday? Yeah, I think it is because unless there's a small one between now and then, but the next major one, that one's got Florida in it, and some other states I forgot where, but Florida's the big prize in that one. And the polls that came out today were really intense. They had Biden up. I think one of them had him up 44 points. The other one had him up 55 points. It's Florida, I think, is going to be really, really bad for Bernie. Pizza Man says, my college just got shut down. Did it? I assume they're doing the same thing they are with the state universities here in New York. They're doing the distance learning. Going to take your classes online. I'm assuming. But yeah, that's the only thing that sucks is we don't get to have Brax home with us because he's an RA and the campus is still officially open. So he's got to go back. Let's see. Lifer says, nice. I heard Bernie was going to go after Biden and I want a good laugh. Mackenzie, Curtis, Freddie Mercury's dead. I'm so mad. I hate Susan. Out in Colorado, they're starting to do it here. What's that, Brian? Closing down the schools? Yeah, it sucks for the kids and everything, but I don't know. Probably the most prudent thing. And now do you see our goddamn politicians, and I say this for both sides. You guys know I lean right, but I'm talking both sides. Right now, the kerfuffle is they're trying to pass these aid packages through, to get everything put in place. I like most of what Trump said in the speech last night. So they're trying to get all the wheels in motion, to get this money put aside for businesses that are hit, so on and so forth. Make sure they got the money there for testing, and for care for coronavirus and everything. So as they do it, immediately there's issues because the Republicans say that Pelosi tried to sneak in some language that would allow the federal funding to go for abortions. The Democrats are saying, no, they didn't. The Republicans are making it up, and they're just trying to slip in language to make sure it doesn't go for abortion. It's just, it's beyond the fucking pale anymore. And again, it's absolutely both of them. There shouldn't be any mentions of abortion in there whatsoever. None. It has nothing to do with this. Take everything else away, take it apart from it, and get the goddamn thing passed, you bunch of fucking dysfunctional idiots. Gimster says, I live so far beyond the stick of the Hicks in Canada that I'm not that worried that bat sickness the Chinese gave the world. Yeah, that's the best thing, the best situation you could be in right now, Gimster. You're right. The further out into the sticks you are right now, the better off you are, obviously, because that's what keeps the virus spreading, of course, is personal contact. So if you're way away from person-to-person contact in big numbers, You're in the best shape you could be. I think you might be right, Milkulator. Milkulator says Biden versus Trump debate will be more entertaining than the past 5 years of late night comedy. You know Biden's going to get pissed because Biden gets angry at everything anymore. He's always angry. And you know Trump's going to say stupid shit. It's going to be fun. TKD says Bernie Sanders said that the primaries are rigged against him. I think people don't want socialism. What a dumbass. You guys will recall we've been talking about this ever since the season started, the whole primary season, and I've been saying all along that my thought was a lot of us in here are obviously into politics. I'm into politics. The majority of Americans really are not. I mean, they're political to a degree, but it's like on the periphery. So I've been saying all along, once Bernie Sanders gets a lot of attention, which he had never been the main focus of attention, because even against Hillary, it was all about Hillary. I'd been saying, and again, I'm in the video saying it, when the attention gets put on Bernie, things are going to come apart for him, because when people realize that he is it, whatever he wants to call it, it's socialism. He says he's a democratic socialist, whatever he wants to call it. When people realize that, it's going to hurt him substantially. And it's not a surprise that it happened. Now that they got it down to basically just him and Biden, and Bernie was the leader, Bernie was leading, and he was winning the caucuses, winning the primaries. He got all that attention, and people went, "Oh, wait a second, what? What's he saying?" And now he's done. It wasn't. I don't know how it's a surprise to anybody. I'm into Burger King. Yeah, Brian, me too. To be honest, I'd rather Biden than 4 years of Trump. I'm at the point, expert gamer. I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. I'm going to vote Trump. I don't fault anybody for voting Biden. I would never, ever, in any way, shape, or form, support Sanders. But you're not going to get any hate from me. I mean, I'm going to vote for Trump simply because his positions align more closely with mine. Given the things that he does and the way he comports himself, I don't blame anybody for voting for Joe Biden, though. You got to, you got to do what's right for you. Let's see. The only way Bernie wins if Joe he says the only way Bernie wins is if Joe shits his pants on live TV and slips in it and gets all over the debate stage, so Bernie is still in it. I was just going to say, before I read "so Bernie is still in it," Tsunami, I was going to say, wait a second, you're not talking about something here that's out of the realm of possibility. Ocho says, "Hey Curtis, if COVID-19 is contained permanently, do you think China had the obligations to apologize to the world and pay for the casualties? I don't think it's feasible for them to ever be held liable, or nor would they allow themselves to admit to liability to paying for the rest of the world. Do I think they will apologize? No. Do I think that's something that would be a token of goodwill? Yes. Because the fact still remains, they have absolutely abysmal practices in China. When you've got these goddamn wet markets with these animals all in close proximity to one another, and don't get me wrong, this didn't start the coronavirus, but they do things like they eat bats, they eat wild animals. They don't have any real sanitary nature about them. They don't have a governmental agency that overlooks and makes sure that food is prepared properly and stuff like that. If you're going to allow a nation that big and becoming that industrialized to conduct itself like that, you're going to be releasing things like this onto the world, and it's no mystery as to why. Supposedly, right, weren't a lot of these animals in testing in labs, being used as test subjects for certain things, and then they're given to these wet markets, and they're out there live in the wet markets? Come on. It was only a matter of time till shit starts happening. This isn't the first thing that has come from China. This isn't the first virus. Super Music Forever. Oh, my natural daughter, my oldest natural daughter, she's not deaf, but she's hearing impaired. I used to actually know a good little bit of sign language, American Sign Language, but I've forgotten most of it, unfortunately. Let's see. No, I haven't seen the Mortal Kombat Spawn trailer, Wesley. I haven't seen that one yet. Um, I don't even remember my alphabet anymore. Super Music Forever. I see. I can't. I was gonna say a sentence in sign language. I can't remember the signs anymore. G8. What was it? HELLO. I think would be spelling out hello. Yeah. I used to have a decent vocabulary in sign language, but not anymore. Uh. Milag says, "Hey, bald man, there's one guy with a fucked up sense of humor to another. I'd recommend it as a non-reaction. Ever come across Get to the Choppa by Meat Candy. You won't regret seeing it." That phrase even makes me laugh anymore. The Get to the Choppa. Gigamax says, "What if Corona is just where pangolin virus and the sickness is our body changing? And every Chinese New Year, humanity turns into where pangolins." I'm not putting anything out of the realm of possibility at this point, Gigamac. That might actually be entertaining. TKD says, "My uncle used to work for a monkey farm and they were used for test subjects." Jeez. M says, "Hi, I actually do know most sign language. I forgot I do." Do you have, I had remembered it for quite a while too. And as my daughter got older, she doesn't rely on it as much because, again, she's not deaf. She's hearing impaired. So I've forgotten a lot of it. But I used to be able to, I mean, I wasn't fluent, but I could carry on a choppy conversation in sign language, but I've forgotten most all of it. Let's see. Hold on. 345 says, "Because Biden is old and white and male, he has said even shittier things about whites than most candidates, including that he himself shouldn't be running because he is a white man." Yeah, I'm not, no matter who you are, racially, religiously, whatever, I'm not into the whole self-loathing thing to make a point. Yeah, I'm with you on that. No matter who it is. Tsunami says, what's happening with the crashing economy and coronavirus, I'm giving this next election a 50-50. I did have an 80-20 in favor of Trump before all this crap. I'll tell you what, Tsunami, I don't think at this point it's going, and the polls, for what I can believe of them, bear that out. It's going to hurt Trump that much because, as hard as the left tries to push it as being Trump's crash, the world is aware that it's a crash that's a direct result of the pandemic. So I don't think he gets hurt by it that much. Now, if we get closer to the election, if we get into the fall, and we're still dealing with coronavirus, and that still got the markets down, then I might tend to start to agree with you. But I think what's going to happen is, if we get this under control, and I think we will, once we get this under control, I think you're going to see a huge rebound just by the natural swing of things, along with the fact that people are going to be so relieved to be out of the grips of dealing with coronavirus, COVID-19 fears all the time, that you'll just have a natural feeling of wellness that brings the markets back. So I think how much of an effect it has on the election, we won't be able to tell until at least late summer. That would be my guess. Expert Gamer says he'll be hurt by his response to the virus. I don't think so. Well, it depends on what happens, but pangolin animal is what they think caused corona. Did they finally determine exactly what Gigamac? Because last I knew, they were just talking about animals in that specific wet market. But I didn't know they got specific. I knew they knew which market. I don't think his response is going to hurt him that much. You have to remember too, the one thing we've learned through this election cycle is the majority on Twitter are the absolute minority in the real world. And really, the only place his reaction to the virus has been being taken to task has been on Twitter. But if you look at this Democratic debate, everybody with a strong Twitter following that built their following through Twitter has been eliminated, or is on the verge of it in Sanders' case. And this is not to say a like or a dislike about any individual candidate, but Andrew Yang had this huge presence on Twitter. And before every debate, before anything that came up within the primaries themselves, it was Yang will win, hashtag Yang Gang. It was all over, and he never got any real traction. Bernie Sanders, when the field started to winnow down and Bernie was ahead, then Bernie was already one of the leading hashtags on Twitter anyway, and they winnowed it down to him and Biden, Biden had next to nothing as far as a Twitter push, a hashtag push on Twitter, and Biden has completely obliterated him. It's been that way all along. You can go back to hashtag Mueller time. Twitter was convinced that, Bob Mueller was going to bring down the president, and it was all over and everything. Everything pretty much that hashtags politically on Twitter is a death knell. It just seems to be the case. So that's why I don't think Trump's initial response was panned by Schumer, which he had to delete the tweet, was spot on. He immediately stopped people coming in from China. Even though the experts they have that are left-leaning have said that was huge. It would already have taken a much stronger hold of America if that travel from China hadn't been stopped immediately. So how much of a hit he takes will depend on how this whole thing fleshes out. Let's see what happens. If it gets nipped in the bud and the spread in America with all the things, all the precautions that are being taken right now, if it doesn't hit us as hard as everyone thinks it might, then it'll just be a race to who wants to take credit for it. The Democrats will want to take credit for it. Trump will want to take credit for it. But it all remains to be seen. M says biology is a weird and interesting thing. Agreed. Let's see. Tsunami, didn't the stock market crash more after his speech? I don't know. How did the stock market... Well, the speech was last night. So how are the markets doing today? I don't even know. I didn't look. But again, you have to make a leap to say that that's directly because of the speech. But let's see. Let's see what we did today. I didn't look. Where are we standing here? Stocks are rebounding as Fed steps up. U.S. stocks rebounded from their lows in the early afternoon after the New York Fed gears up for a more than $1 trillion capital injection. European stocks are hurt, but look what's going on in Europe. Okay, so they dropped in the early part of the day, and they're on the rebound right now. Gimster says, speaking about Twitter, I got around 70 followers, and I got no idea why. I clearly stated in my bio that it's not worth following me. That's probably why, Gimster. That's probably exactly why. No, they're not that bad right now, Gigamac. I just read the latest updates. They're on a big rebound right now. Anytime you have something like this, a pandemic of all things, it's gonna play havoc with the markets. They're gonna make wild swings. That's to be expected. Once things start to stabilize, then we'll have a better handle on what exactly the market effect was. Yeah, earlier today they were, Gigamac. They tanked earlier, and now they're rebounding. Yep, it was just in the update I read was in the last 5 minutes. They were talking about how there's been a late afternoon or later afternoon rebound. It's going to be like that. As long as this pandemic is notorious, is of note, the stock market's going to be like that. That anybody could have predicted. You knew that was going to happen. Let's see. Aaron says, what do you think about the fact Trump blocked travel from EU apart from the UK? I think it sucks for a lot of people, but I don't think it was the wrong move. I mean, when we see what's going on now in Italy and everything, it does suck. It's going to inconvenience a lot of people, but I don't think it's a poor move at all. I think, you got to do the best you can by the people of your own nation and keeping out. There's no sense in bringing in more potential spread of the disease. I think it was a good move. Let's see. Brian said, accidentally told someone that this is the worst scare we've had since the Y2J scare. Didn't realize at first when I accidentally said Y2J instead of K. Yeah, and well, it's obviously a lot worse than that because we all, outside of the people that are professionals in panicking, we all knew the Y2K thing wasn't going to amount to anything. It was just code. All that had to happen was, and they caught it years prior, was they had to go in and recode computers so that they didn't have dates anymore that said 19 blank blank. They had to change them so that the entire year could be changed. So we went 1999 to 2000, not 1999 to 1900. Wasn't that hard to do. You can write code to correct code, and that's what they did. But people like to be terrified. So it's funny you guys bring up, I was going to ask you guys about that. You guys bring up Y2J. It seems like even more so lately, we have a lot of wrestling fans in here. And of course, you guys know I wrestled forever. Would you guys like to see any wrestling content here at the channel? Now we got 62 people here. Let me get a cross section what you guys think. As far as now that I've gotten into watching wrestling again a bit more, the storylines have gotten better in WWE and stuff. Would you be interested in watching videos that are just takes on things going on in the wrestling world, takes on individual wrestlers, things like that? Would that be something? And maybe even, I was thinking of maybe even getting WWE 2K19, because that's the one that supposedly has a really good career mode, and making a series of videos, putting in Curtis Candy and taking him through career mode. Let's see. What do you guys think? Oh, Smokey Loki, thank you for the magenta sky. I got magenta. Magenta is now my bitch. I remember it every time. Jeff, yes. Big Green, yes. Brian Hutcher, I'm in. I'll get right back to that, Loki. Dr. Krieger, yes. Up to you, sure. Oink, not into it. I'm not super into it, but I'll check it out. Yeah, maybe we'll give it a try. Maybe we'll the first one I do, if I do a conversational one, will be about Brock Lesnar. I want to get you guys' opinions on something. Smokey Loki. The scary thing about the coronavirus is what it represents instead of what it's done, meaning that as the human population continues to rise, the likelihood of viral outbreaks will rise as well, and countries are not well prepared for that eventuality. I completely agree with you, Loki. I agree 100%. And particularly if we cannot get a worldwide standard set for hygiene, it just increases it. Because, again, that's what frustrates me. If China was more of a victim in it, okay? If this was something that somehow cropped up despite best efforts for keeping things hygienic and keeping things clean, you just feel bad for them. You feel bad for us as well because the rest of the world has to deal with it, but you say, oh man, sucks that you guys had to deal with the initial outbreak. But when you don't even make a half-assed attempt at hygiene, at keeping things clean, at doing things that aren't just despicable from a cleanliness standpoint, I don't have any sympathy for them. The fuckers are asking for it. Don't eat bats. Don't put these live animals crushed together in cages in a wet market. Don't take animals that you've been using for testing and then put them into a marketplace. Jesus Christ. Have half a fucking clue. That's what pisses me off. Sure, why not? Used to watch wrestling, Jeff says. Let's see. I just want to see. Yeah, don't get 2K20. It's ass. That's what everybody's saying, Big Green. It's funny you say that. I was just looking it up because I was thinking about doing that. But everybody says the 2K20 one was terrible. And they say the... Because if I did it, I would want to play it on career mode, of course. And they say 2K19s was really good. Lou says dark pink. That is all. Now, again, for anybody that doesn't know, we call the donation different colors. They're that color sky. It started with Crimson Sky. Mainly BTG was making $100 donations. Oh, no, some of the other guys did too. But was making $100 donations, and it's a Crimson Red. It was Crimson Sky. So for a while, we named each of the colors, and the battle over this $50 level was... It was dark times. It's Spaz Boys Comedy and the Gooch. It was, people were at each other. It was serious. People were throwing stones. There was a couple of stabbings, a rape. Okay, I raped myself, but it still bears mentioning. And it was all over that name. And here, Lude says dark pink. That is all. And what was it? Wolverine was against it too, but Wolverine was Rose, right? Wolverine said Rose, I think. Maybe come out of retirement, Curtis. One more match. It almost happened, Edgar. Braxton's college had scheduled a wrestling show. He's part of the Ahab crew, which puts on the events there. He had scheduled a show for April 18th, and I told them I would work something into the show. I hadn't told you guys about it yet, and now, of course, it's all canceled because the colleges can't have any gatherings. But it was going to happen. I would have had it on video for you guys. Let's see. I missed the Crimson Sky, Lou says. But yeah, Edgar, that almost happened. Some people died. Big Green, he's talking about the battles over the... I think... Do you guys think that maybe Mark Bark, and this just dawned on me, maybe Mark Bark was with us and had actually been normal for a while, and maybe all the kerfuffle and the battles over magenta versus dark pink versus rose, do you think it did him in? I think that might be what twisted his mind, right? He could have been normal if it hadn't been for that. Rose Sky, I thought that's what Wolverine said. Magenta is wrong, is as wrong as DC being good. Ow. Dark pink. Oink says that is clearly yellow. Let's see. Shirokage says, what is better, anime titties or bacon? Eye candy or something we can actually taste? For me, that's an easy one because it's anime titties. And I'm not a huge bacon fan. I'll eat it. But it's uncharacteristic for me being, a tried and true fat man from way back. But I'm not a big bacon guy. I'll eat it once in a while, but it's not a big deal to me. And anime titties, those are a big deal to me. That's what I'm thinking, Big Green. He says it gave him horrible PTSD and fucked with his mind. Who said pussy pink? Khan said pussy pink. Gimster says Rose Sky for the $50 level. See, Gimster's on board with Wolverine. That was the ultimate battle. We've never. It's one of the things that makes me proud of our community here. We know how to pick our fights. That was serious shit. Hey, Steve, good to see you. Oh, we're just having the magenta sky discussion again. Wolverine says, if it's magenta, I'm not a furry. And I'm a furry. JoJo was our adventure only. JoJo was really cool. I enjoyed JoJo a lot. That was... It's amazing that with, the legacy that's out there in the anime world, that they were able to come up with something, and I mean this more from an aesthetic point of view than anything else, come up with something so different and unique like they did in JoJo. It was I enjoyed the hell out of it. Tsunami says, I was watching some Mr. Perfect matches earlier. Damn, he could work his ass off. Yes, he could. Yes, he could. I mean, had a background that might make you suspect that he would be able to, because his dad, I mean, he was a bomber, Larry the Axe Henning, and he was a big guy. He wasn't quick on it or nimble on his feet, but he could work a match too. Steve, I have to work from home now every other week because of the coronavirus. God damn, it's going to be more and more and more, it looks like. M says, how do you know titties don't have a taste? Have you ever tasted titties before? Good point, M. They taste delicious to me. I'm all about them. Titties. Yeah. Did anybody miss that? Edgar was saying Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, have coronavirus. They're in, where was it? Australia, right? Yeah, they were in Australia shooting a movie. And here we are, I don't know where they actually were because we all know that Australia doesn't really exist. So they were somewhere posing as Australia, making a movie, and now they both have coronavirus. Yeah. Did you guys see the posting that Tom Hanks put? I guess some of the medical staff where they have him quarantined. rolled a Wilson ball into him to keep him company while he's under quarantine. Had the little face on it, just like the one from the movie and everything. That was pretty funny. Let's see. Joseph says, "Fuck China." And that's the thing, Joseph. Again, as I said, if they were a victim of this virus, I'd have sympathy for them too. Even though it affects us, it's like, well, could have happened anywhere. It just happened to them. But it isn't. They invite shit like that. And then the rest of the world has to pay for the fact that they act like a bunch of dirty, scummy bastards. Ocho says, what Tom is like 62? That's scary. Early 60s, you're still not in a high-risk group. And, he seems like somebody who's in good shape and everything. It doesn't really get high risk until into your 70s, if you believe the numbers anyway. Don't fuck with China. They have Jackie Chan shit, Okage says. Oh, no. What's this all about Australia not being real? You might not have been in here for those conversations. A while back, some flat earthers had said it was like this, that Flat Earth Society's official stance was that Australia doesn't exist. It's not real. And the people that claim to be Australians are actors. And that's legit. They really said that, and that's why it's a running gag here now, because we have a lot of Australians in our community here, and they're all aware now that the gig is up. We know what's going on here, and they're just Australia. Stop. They wanted to say we're the only continent and country. They just wanted to have something cool to say, so they made all that shit up. Someone said I represent flat earthers all around the world. Brian said I told him to say that sentence slower. Yeah, there you go. Wolverine, you gotta go? Okay, pal, thanks for being in. Tom Tsunami says, doesn't Tom have diabetes though? Hanks? I didn't know that. Again, he could, I don't know. Ooh. That definitely complicates things. I didn't know that. Yeah. Smokey Loki says, China's like, we have 2 billion people. We'll just make more. Good luck, everybody else. Yeah. And again, that's what, I don't mean it to just be disparaging. Well, yeah, it is disparaging. Stop fucking conducting yourself like that. Have a little hygiene. Have a little cleanliness. Have a little self-respect. Jesus Christ. Let's see. No, it's not about Australian flat earthers. Flat earthers said Australia doesn't exist. That's what we're making jokes about. Yeah, we were just talking about it, Brandon, about Tom Hanks. Is it true? Jeff says, is it true that flat earthers have fans around the world? Mr. Zadakai says booby. I like boobies. Boobies just make me so goddamn happy. Flat gooshers. Super Music Forever says Android 18 and 17 can survive during coronavirus. Has been through it's from the future. Gimster says, changing topic. I'm playing a game that I know you'll like called Destroy All Humans 2. Make war, not love. The dialogue is something that you'll love. Title sounds pretty good. Make war, not love. Yeah, that definitely, that sounds like me. Absolutely does. Yes, and I do. I am a nerd for good quality ball busting and or funny dialogue. Hanks does have diabetes. Google it. I don't need to Google it. As long as I believe you guys. I'm saying I just didn't know that. If people are saying it, I believe you. I'm not calling you liars. I just I didn't know that. You play aliens in that game? Big Green says. That would be cool. Anal probes are in that game. Oh, well, you didn't say that, Lex. Wow, that just piqued my interest. No, I was wondering what the flat earthers in Australia say because they have to exit. Yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, what did the flat earthers in Australia say? They probably just admitted to being actors. David says, when are we going to get more red versus blue reactions? No idea. No clue. Right now, with us being able, at the core, Spaz Boys Comedy and certainly the Goosh, we're all anime nerds. You guys saw how many months it's taken me to get anything put in place where I could actually bring anime reactions back to the Goosh, and so that's why I'm putting those in every day while I can, the DBS reactions, because who knows how long it'll last. So when something else will be coming up, I have no idea. Milag says, wouldn't it be epic if we all peer pressured Susan into quitting like a substitute teacher with our thanks, Susan? You could use that as a platform to run for president. Spaz Boys get shit done. Big Green, Australian flat earther. Yeah, we don't exist. Let's see. Did you see that in the new COD Battle Royale? If you go to the gulags? No, I didn't see that. Where Song says, why is Arn so underrated, Curtis? He was a phenomenal worker. He was. Oh, absolutely. You think he's underrated, Where Songs? Yeah, you might have a point. I think more overlooked than underrated. In the respect that I think true fans know that he was a great worker, but peripheral fans just aren't really sure of who he was. So I would say overlooked even more than underrated. Yeah, he was a phenomenal worker. Fantastic worker. All as much as you guys know, I knew Tully Blanchard and didn't like him, but not liking him aside, he could work the shit out of a match too. And all the original Four Horsemen were just sick, just fantastic wrestlers. Yes, washing your hands is excuse me, as Lick says, washing your hands with warm soap and water is the ultimate. That's how you make sure that you do not have any living droplets on your hands. Let's see. Omega Delta says, yes, I did. Did you hear about the French fool from Utah, Jazz Rudy Gobert? He made fun of coronavirus, touched many things, and tested positive days after and passed to his teammate Donovan Mitchell. Yep. Yeah, Rudy Gobert was making fun of it at a press conference, just as Omega Delta said. He's touching all the stuff and everything, thinking he's really funny. Now he's got it. And he already passed it along to one of his teammates. Brian says, Jake Roberts called AA a one-trick pony in a promo against Cody. Probably did it just for the pop, but still good. Yeah. That's. I'm sure that's a work, Brian. With the respect that Jake has for the business, I'm positive that's a work. Yeah, and it's a good angle. Calling Arn a one-trick pony will piss off a lot of real wrestling fans. Fresh Smoker, hi from Amsterdam, New York. Oh, you're right up here with me, Smoker? Cool. I normally wash my hands 3 times whenever I wash them. Now I wash them 10 times, Shirokage says. Understandable. That's too bad, Willie. My school might get closed and my senior prom might get canceled. Oh, that would suck. Yeah, I didn't even think. Yesterday I went to a baseball practice. We're practicing indoors still. And we got done. As we're coming out, some of the younger guys were in there to work in the tubes, in the batting cages and stuff. And I was talking with a couple of the young guys, and I was saying how at that point we had just found out the governor had just announced that all the state schools would be closing, and Braxton had just called me to tell me. So I was talking to one kid about it. And he says my sister is just wrecked. He said she worked her ass off so she could graduate a year early, and now she's probably not going to get to walk. And I hadn't even thought about that when Braxton said it, because he's a sophomore, and I hadn't even thought about all the seniors, all the graduates, if it's going to, hopefully it doesn't, I hope they can get things back on track, that it could ruin their opportunity. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime, to do the walk and your graduation ceremony, and that made me feel really bad. I hadn't even thought about that, but that would suck. Just wash your hands every time you come home from being out and you'll be fine. Yeah, that's what I do, Licks, because I'm more concerned. I mean, obviously nobody wants to get the virus. If I get it, I'll get it. I'm not in a high-risk group. Statistically speaking, I'll probably get a little sick and go about my business. But my wife having asthma makes me concerned. So yes, every time, as soon as I come in the house from anywhere, I don't go anywhere near her, don't touch anything. I walk directly to the bathroom, scrub the shit out of my hands, and then go about my business. Breaking news, washing your hands prevents you from getting sick. Another news later tonight, rocks are hard. Who says? Shidokage says that I never wash my hands. I'm strictly indoor person. No thank. Yeah, I still wash them in between as well. But I have a bad habit. I'm always itching at my nose, at my eyes. I've always had itchy eyes, and so now I'm even conscious of that. Once I get in the house and have washed my hands and scrubbed them, then I feel like I can do that. Once I'm out, I almost feel like I got to tie my hands to my to my hips because I don't want to be going to my face. Meat candy sounds like the result of vigorous gooshing. Does kind of, Milog. You are correct. What about Gorgeous George? He was gorgeous. He was a real groundbreaker in the business too. He definitely was. PC game. Brian says PC gamers find out you can only get the virus through physical contact with others. Release huge sigh of relief. Pretty much. Oh yeah, really, Licks. I feel bad for the hookers who are going to be out of work for months thanks to this. Yeah, because at least a venereal disease was always just a penicillin shot. This, you might be talking death here. Harvest COVID-19 and use it for population control, M says. One of the reasons we get along so well, M, a shared cynicism. Sexually transmitted corona. Just tape tacks to your hands, you'll break the habit. Oh, Lifer, you know what I've been through in the wrestling world and everything. That probably wouldn't do it either. I'd still be going, ow, 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 ow. I hope smashing your head. What? Larry says, I hope you get sick for smashing my head, you bald fuck. Larry, what plane of existence are you working on right now, bud? If I smash somebody's head, I typically remember that because I enjoy shit like that. I think I would remember. I drink. Edgar says, I drink a glass of Clorox a day. I should be good. Yeah, I know, Em. She says he smashed your head and you're still here. I've lost my touch apparently. Because in the old days, if I smashed somebody's head, it'd stay smashed for a while. Let's see. Brian says, what do you think about British Bulldog getting inducted? About time, I personally think. Yeah, he was a legend in the business. I mean, a lot of people didn't like him. He was kind of a douche, but that has no standing on whether or not he could work the shit out of a match, and he could, and he was a legend. That's actually, Muhammad, that one's pretty good. I never heard that one before. I kind of like that. Have you ever wondered that when you clean a vacuum cleaner, you become a vacuum cleaner? RuneScape? No, I've never played that, Dab and Dab. I know of it, but I've never played it. North Korea seems the best with this pandemic. North Korea seems the best place on earth right now. Ocho says there was a rumor, I don't know if it's true, that somebody had it in North Korea and they executed them. That's entirely possible, but we would never know. We would never know for sure with what comes out or doesn't come out of North Korea. What's going on over there anyway? Shirokage says, now I'm hungry for anime titties and my ear is itchy as fuck. Super Music Forever says Future Trunks' mom, only one person who able to make a cure for the coronavirus. Yeah, she'd handle it, absolutely, without a doubt. Our Bulma, I still say Bulma's a freak. No question. Oh, thanks, Muhammad. That was good though. I liked that one. I'd never thought it, and it really hit home because I was just cleaning out a vacuum cleaner. My wife was vacuuming the other day, and it jammed up on her, so I had it all apart and was pulling it apart, so it was timely as well. No, I don't think I did see any more Gorgeous Freeman. I think that was it, Milag. I think that's all I saw. Chi-Chi is scary, Brandon. Chi-Chi's, I even mentioned something about her in the description of today's DBS video, and yeah, she is kind of, Bulma's a freak, and Chi-Chi's kind of scary. I agree. I think regular Bulma could do it too, yes. Oh shit, Andrew says, just started coughing this morning. Was nice while it lasted. R.I.P. me. Nah, you'll be with us, Andrew. Got a long time to go. Alright, guys. Well, gonna have to pack it up. I got a little more editing to do than 4 o'clock. Wow, it's later than I thought, too. 20 of 3 already. 4 o'clock, I gotta go meet my wife. We gotta go stock up on toilet paper. I'm just going to go around and randomly stock up on it because that seems to be what people do. Smokey Loki says, waiting for Weird Al to make a parody video of My Sharona, but with my Corona. Let's make a petition to make it happen. That would actually be funny. That would actually be perfect. My Corona. Yeah, I can see that one, Loki. We need to get that done. Yeah, I agree. Guys, thanks for hanging out. This was fun. I like these streams because we have the initial conversation about what we're talking about with Levi and everything. Everybody gets to be a part of it, and then I like the fact that the streams just go in all different directions. This is why I have so many conversation streams, because I just really, really enjoy this stuff. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for making this so much fun for me all the time. And again, I should be today's what, Thursday? Oh, Free for All Friday tomorrow. Yeah, so unless something goes wrong, plans are right now, there will be a Free for All Friday stream. That's the best day of the week. So hopefully you guys can make it there. And until then, pumfu, sticky stuff for everybody. And you don't. This is coronavirus free sticky stuff, guaranteed. And then there's a little asterisk by it, and it says not guaranteed. Guaranteed. Sticky stuff for everybody. We'll bang, okay? Flashily like Buggy, but most importantly, and always, and forever, goosh.